What is up, everyone? Welcome to BRAP. Look, we did a BRAP last night. I didn't expect to do another BRAP so soon because, yeah, but we got breaking news, so let's get into it right now. All right, everyone. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Can everyone hear me, by the way? I'll do a quick mic check. Can everyone hear me? Hey, Ice Queen Gaming. Hope you feel better, by the way. Please take care of yourself. Your health is most important, but I certainly appreciate you hanging out with us. So, can I get a quick mic check? Because I think I might be having some technical issues. So, everybody in the live chat, if you could let me know if you guys can hear me. Check 1, 2. I hope you can hear me. Let's see here. What's up, Mary Wilcox? Mike is good. All right. Thank you, Muck45. Appreciate that. All right. So we do have some breaking news regarding Satya Nadella. Satya's out there. He's out there giving smoke for free 99, I might add. Yes, entanglements, T-Rock. What's going on, man? T-Rock, I do need to get back to Fortnite. I know it's like season, I forget whatever new season is. To be fair, by the way, please retweet the link below and let everyone know that we're live. So, all right, let me do this. I'm going to drop the BRAP is live. I'm going to drop this on Twitter. All right, let me see here. Oh boy, let's see. All right, so yeah, so things are getting a little spicy right now with the ABK the ABK Microsoft deal. I mean, we've heard the back and forth, or we've read about the back and forth between Jim Ryan and the CMA and Phil Spencer and Jim Ryan calling each other out, the battle of the titans in the gaming industry. And look, no one should be surprised by any of this, by the way. I mean, this is what these gentlemen get paid to do. If you've ever interacted with C-suite executives, never been in a situation where there's a deal or some kind of negotiation going on, this is very much the behavior that you would see, that I've seen in my own professional experience when you have C-suite executives. As somebody who used to do business development and had to bid on government contracts, things like that. I mean, yeah, you don't speak highly of the competition when you're trying to bid for business, or when you're trying to um, you know, when you're trying to get a desired outcome. And so no one should be surprised by this. I mean, like, go back to the Apple lawsuit of Samsung, where Apple said, "Hey, Samsung, it's a copyright infringement. They stole our idea of the Apple iPhone, and they actually created mock-ups of." They basically one of Apple's legal arguments was like, "Look, they made a phone with the same form factor in the shape of a rectangle. They didn't have to do that. Samsung could have done something else. They stole our idea, and they actually created mock-ups of other form factors that they said Samsung could have used." So, um, yeah, so no one should be surprised by this. And the other thing I'm seeing a narrative out there that's kind of interesting, where people are saying things like, this isn't this isn't competition. Sony's not competing. I've seen that quite a bit. Or not Sony, I'm sorry. Microsoft's not competing. Competition is creating your own things, your own intellectual properties, things like that. That's not exactly true. Competition in terms of what businesses do, organizations do, is they do things. They put together strategic initiatives that accomplish a business objective. And they will do things like acquisitions, M&As, to meet those objectives. And so this is what Microsoft is doing. They are competing, whether you agree with that or not. The reality of the matter is, this is how business compete. Microsoft is leveraging, because they're a big company, they are leveraging. Yes, Jeff B. Gaming, actually, competition does mean buying publishers, because Microsoft is competing to put itself in a position where they can be a major player in the gaming industry. Whether you agree with that acquisition or that strategy, Jeff B. Gaming, I hate to say it, is moot because they are competing. That's how companies compete. Companies are going to compete the same way. Look, Sony taking away exclusive content, or Sony paying games not to be on Game Pass. That is Sony competing. Sony making third party deals with third party games to be exclusive, or marketing rights. Nintendo getting exclusive content, funding development the development of games. That is competing. Those things are done to drive initiatives uh, to meet objectives that these businesses are trying to accomplish. Look, that's just the nature of the beast. I mean, the New York Yankees spend a lot of money and they get players because they are competing. They are trying to position themselves to win a championship. That is why the New York Yankees spend the money that they do. And you could sit there and say that's not fair. The New York Yankees, have deep pockets. Well, they do have deep pockets. Now, obviously, they pay a luxury tax and things like that. Um, but but that's still the point that Microsoft, whether you agree with it or not, is still competing. They have a strategic plan in place, and part of executing that plan is buying publishers so that they can make Game Pass attractive to their consumer base and to future consumers. That is competition. They are trying to compete to better position themselves in the marketplace. That is what Microsoft's doing. So, people could sit there and say it's desperation, and whatever the case is. Okay, I mean, like, I don't understand like why that's desperation. That is, hey, we have a war chest full of money. Let's use it. At some point, Phil Spencer came to Satya Nadella, and Satya's like, "What are we doing here? What are we doing, Phil? Why do we leverage our strengths? Why do we leverage our strengths as an organization?" Because think about this, Game Pass is essentially an extension of their enterprise business or their model. Everything on the cloud, Office 365, things like that, Azure. If you think about it from the enterprise perspective, Office 365 has a reoccurring subscription model. You can also buy Office 365 outright, as you can buy games outright on Game Pass. And let's like we do with Windows and Office 365, let's have it everywhere. Let's have it everywhere. Let's make it easy for people to use the product. Let's have it everywhere. Let's have it as a subscription base. Let's also give people the option to buy games. So this is Microsoft pivoting, and 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 doing things to execute on things that they're trying to accomplish within their gaming division. And so, um, thank you, Lord Metroid. Yeah, T. Harris says it's desperation undermining quality. I don't know about that. I mean, I think it's a little bit too early to judge undermining quality. I do, T. Harris, though, think it's a fair conversation to ask, to beg the question: how will Microsoft manage all these studios? No one has ever done this. Microsoft has had some challenges and managing their production pipeline with the current line of studios they have right now. Will they be able? Not all their studios have issues, um, but I think it's a fair question to ask. How is Microsoft going to manage these things? Obviously, I don't see any management issues with Bethesda. Bethesda kind of operates on its own still. Nothing's really changed there from a management leadership perspective. Um, Activision's probably going to do the same thing, the way kind of operate as Bethesda's does. But look, at the end of the day, I mean, there have been some issues with the initiative, 343i and their big tentpole title, Halo Infinite. It's fair to beg the question: how can they manage it when they've had some challenges managing, um, you know, a, some of their internal studios? So we'll see. That's a fair question to ask, but I'm not going to sit there and say that the quality of maybe Call of Duty is going to suffer because Microsoft owns them now. Because if Microsoft keeps those same people in place minus Bobby Kotick, is the quality really going to suffer if the same people are still making the games? Probably not. Unless you would imagine that would be the case. That the quality probably wouldn't suffer. Um, so yeah, look, a lot of us who have been gaming for a long time have been asking for a more aggressive Microsoft the way they were the Xbox 360, because I am here for the competition. I want to see these companies compete for my dollar. I want to have options in case one of these companies aren't necessarily offering me something that appeals to my consumer needs. So I want the option of going to another strong contender for my business, if you will. That's what I want to see. That's what I saw the Xbox 360 generation, and when Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft were competing heavily for my dollars at least. I want to see that. So this is interesting. Again, I also don't think Sony's scared. I've seen that narrative too. Sony's scared. I don't think Sony's scared. Sony's protecting what's in their best interest, which is protecting their bottom line, which is protecting things that put them in a position that better suits whatever business objectives they want to meet. So I don't think they're scared. I just think that they are protecting their interests, as all companies do. If the role was reversed, Microsoft would be doing the same thing. They would be downplaying act. They would be, discussing this with the CMA. If it was Sony buying Activision for $70 billion, Microsoft would be doing the same things. Um, so, um, yeah, T Rock says COD quality is already suffering. Apparently, yeah, COD really hasn't been, in my opinion, the multiplayer hasn't been that great the last couple years. In fact, actually, they've lost about 30% of their player base multiplayer. That could be a result of people leaving Warzone because of the way the state Warzone's in right now. I'm not a big fan of the map they have for Warzone. Um, and because Call of Duty Vanguard, maybe that particular set piece wasn't attractive to COD players. Be interesting to see if they get some of the player base that they lost with Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2 that's coming out here shortly. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. It's going to be interesting how that plays out. But if there's a drop, I think with Modern Warfare 2, then there's something interesting here. There's a trend starting where COD is decreasing in terms of player count, and that's going to be interesting if in fact that happens. The other thing too, with the ABK deal, like everyone's also assuming that COD is going to be the juggernaut that it is 5 to 10 years from now. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't. We'll see. Um, Halo used to be a juggernaut, and it's no longer the juggernaut it is. Those things do happen, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not saying 100% that's going to happen, but it also begs the question: will COD be the juggernaut it is 7 to 10 years down the line? So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. Um, Sorry about that. I just had to check work email real quick. But yeah, if anyone in the chat has a question, please feel free to drop me a super chat. I will answer your question promptly. So let's get into this news here. Give me just a second here. I need to pull this up here. All right. All right, here we go. All right. So this just came out today. Microsoft CEO is confident about Activision deal approval, handling of the economy. Some interesting points about the economy, but let's get into some of the commentary
Why
here
does this
from Satya
disconnect
Nadella. Actually,
matter?
Satya was there. The video you could it actually this is the video here. I'm not playing the video right now, but this is the video. You should watch it because it's really it's. Let me tell you something. As when I saw Satya smile, say, if this is about competition, let's compete. He's kind of smiling, nodding his head. I'm like, okay, Satya, I see you. I see you. You're like, we got the war chest. You want to compete? Let's go. I'm telling you, I'm here for the competition. I'm telling you. Um, all right. So Satya Nadella says, of course. So he believes that the ABK deal will go through. He says, of course, any acquisition of this size will go through scrutiny, but we feel very, very confident that we'll come out. Um, Now he did also say that he said Microsoft is either number four, number five competitor in the video game industry, depending on how you count. And the number one player, Group Corporation, has made several recent acquisitions. This is the part, and you got to see. You watch the video. You see him smiling when he says this. So if this is about competition, let us have competition. Look, I mean, Satya's here to compete. Satya's here to compete. And for a lot of us who were kind of disappointed with how Xbox handled the Xbox One generation and saying things like they need to compete, this is Microsoft competing. This is it. This is it. Um, so yeah, I mean, like this is what I want to see in the industry. I want to see two titans fighting for my dollar. Because look, we as consumers, we benefit. We benefit when companies aren't complacent and are on their toes fighting for a dollar. We benefit, absolutely 110% benefit. Um, so that really kind of that quote has, I think, kind of stood out to me and many other gamers in the community who follow the gaming news cycle on a regular basis, and some of the conversation I've seen here on social media as well. So the other thing I wanted to highlight, he talks about um, inflation here. He says the constraints are real. Inflation is definitely all around us. I always go back to the point that in an uncertain time, in inflationary time, software is the deflationary force. Now, I'm kind of curious to see it. I was hoping to get Hamp here to get a kind of his perspective. He was going to actually join us, and then something came up, but I'm not sure what he means by software's deflationary force. I'm not sure how software would impact or help with the decline of inflation. Um, yeah, that I don't know, because, I mean, we've seen the cost of software go up. Um, it wouldn't surprise me if we see software costs go up again, to be frank, if inflation gets even worse. Um, but he goes on to say, Microsoft, he's like, ensuring that our customers are able to do more with less. So in terms of outlook, I am optimistic about Microsoft's value proposition. I am optimistic about our share, but we are not immune from anything that is macroeconomic headwinds. So he's talking about the impact of inflation, macroeconomics, things like that, things that we've talked about, here, here on the show. Um, so it's interesting, like where he says, ensure that our customers are able to do more with less. To me, that is, I'll say this from a gaming perspective, and I'm not sure if he's talking about the enterprise business, cloud, but for me, from a gamer's perspective, and how I interpret that is, hey, you get more content, but in particular with Game Pass. And look, I'm Game Pass really hasn't been my bag. They really haven't done anything. They really haven't done anything for me, to really keep me engaged, in, Game Pass. I mean, I got Game Pass for AAA games. For me, when I added up the price point at the time they announced Game Pass, $60 for a AAA game. If they release 3 of those, I'm ahead of the game. They just haven't done that. So Game Pass really hasn't worked for me. It's worked for my kids who will utilize Game Pass, although they've been utilizing PlayStation Plus more recently than Game Pass, but they do kind of go back and forth depending on what platform is offering what at that time. So, but that's what kind of spoke to me as a gamer, that you get more, you potentially pay a little bit less because you're getting all this content, this huge value proposition. Now, another conversation whether you see said value in that value proposition as a consumer. Not everyone will. Not everyone's going to see value in Game Pass, but others will. Um, so, yeah, I mean, this is getting spicy. But again, I don't think anyone should be shocked that that Satya, he's had CEO of this, of Microsoft. They're in the throes of this big acquisition with ABK, and there's a lot of regulatory pressure here. And because it's the largest deal Microsoft has ever done. And look, and the European Union, they're a little more conservative about M&As than we are here in the US with the FTC. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I do think this deal goes through. I don't think that the deal does not go through. Although it wouldn't surprise me if there are modifications in this deal in order for it to go through. And it's going to be interesting to see what those modifications are, and whether those modifications are things that benefit Sony in the long run. So, but yeah, Satya's out here. But he's like, look, if this is about competition, this might be a favorite quote by an executive in quite some time. I got to find the quote now. Here we go. So, if this is about competition, let us have competition. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I will say this. I do. Yeah, by the way, Mary, this is not a monopoly, by the way. That's another narrative I'm seeing. There's not there This isn't a monopolistic move. Is it fair to have concerns about consolidation in the gaming industry? Absolutely, 110%. And that's one fear I have, but or concern that I have. And Sean Laney's kind of voiced concern about consolidation in the gaming industry, although he just joined Tencent as a consultant. Um, But I don't think it's fair to say that this is a monopoly because, even with this acquisition, Microsoft wouldn't be the top publisher, in the gaming industry. Um, and I wouldn't argue that it's anti-competitive either, Vex, because you have a choice to make. You still have options, you know, and it's no less anti-competitive than, um, Nintendo having exclusives or PlayStation having exclusives. It's part of the look. It's part of the industry. It's part of the industry, and I the issue in terms of anti-competitive. I mean, here here's what I think. I think the day that we have less choice and are forced to down a certain path, um, that to me that's dangerous. To me, if you want to talk, anti-competitive or look at let's look at energy. Let's look at gas prices. I mean, we don't have a choice with gas. Gas is a necessity for many of us. Food is a necessity. Consoles are not necessities. They're luxury items. So the things to get angry about or get upset about and put emotion, some of the emotion that I see on Twitter over these plastic boxes is dumbfounding to me because they're not they're not they're not necessities. Video games aren't necessities. They're luxury items. Um, they are. Yeah, Hoovie, I would actually, yeah, the licensing deal with Madden, yeah, I would agree with you that because that is preventing other companies from utilizing the NFL license, which has value. I would agree with that. I don't think this is the case though, because there's an abundance of other games out there outside of Call of Duty. And look, and Microsoft's already said Call of Duty is going to be on PlayStation. I still don't think that they're going to remove um, that they're going to run the risk of splintering a player base. Multiplayer games live and die on their player base. Microsoft's now incurred not just a $70 billion deal, but or not just incurred um, some debt, but also I'm sorry, not debt. Microsoft has also um, with the acquisition of Activision now has 30 plus studios or has additional studios on top of the ones they have now, have all this additional human capital headcount that they have to pay for, have additional development costs, marketing costs. Those things don't come free. Uh, do you and then you have to think about Game Pass is a loss leader for Microsoft right now. There's no bones about it. Microsoft Game Pass is not making Microsoft money. And Sean Layden's had some interesting conversations about um yeah, I don't agree I don't agree that NFL tickets anti-competitive because you can still go watch games elsewhere. I don't see that as anti-competitive. Um but but yeah, I mean, do they run the risk of losing money when they're already a loss leader position for Game Pass, and they have this additional cost with picking up ABK and the cost of human capital development, things like that. So that's just my 2 cents. I'm not entirely sure that's going to be the case, but we'll see. Um, Sorry guys, I'm trying to read everything in the live chat. Yeah. Again, if you have a specific question for me or comment, please leave a super chat because it's hard for me to keep up with everything going on. I think some of the folks are talking to me. Yeah, boycott Activision. I don't think it's. I just don't agree with you. I don't think it's anti-competitive. The Yankees buy players, and they wouldn't buy the White Sox players at that. By the way. Um, all right, Ice Queen Gaming. Take care of yourself. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, I mean the NFL is the only. Yeah, it's that's yeah. That's it. NHL, NBA, that's it. There's no other option. I mean, there's the option to watch football, collegiate, but not the professional level. But yeah, you know what? Again, this deal goes through. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm interested to see kind of what when this deal goes through, how that impacts consumers' buying decisions. Do we see people, migrate over to the Xbox platform? Do we see people, migrate the Xbox platform, just switch completely? Do we see people who didn't own an Xbox maybe own multiple consoles now? It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. So, Hoovy 86 with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, sir. Says just showing support. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. But yeah, so let me so again, this was going to be a quick BRAP rant. But do me a favor, definitely feel free to leave comments in the comment section below. Let me know if you think let me know why you think this might be anti-competitive, this deal. I know some people are making that argument in the live chat. If you feel that way, kind of lay out your argument in the comment section below. Do me a favor, hit that like button as well. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Satya's commentary on this when he says, if so if this is about competition, let us have competition. Let me know what you think about that particular comment because we know Satya means business. So again, this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Wonder if Sony might respond in kind to what Satya's saying. So wouldn't surprise me if he did, but we'll see. So, but look, everyone, again, just want to do a quick BRAP rant about this. If anyone doesn't have any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this rant. But do me a favor, hit that like button if you're new. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that great stuff, so you're alerted when we go live. And then do me a favor, check out last night's BRAP as well as we talked about NVIDIA. I've got some additional thoughts about NVIDIA's GPU pricing, things like that, that I may cover in another rant maybe this weekend. So, um, and oh, by the way, I saw people saying Tencent's going to buy Sony now, or Sony's going to go to Apple servers now. I don't think any of that's going to happen. By the way, So, sorry, just read the rest of the live chat here. Want to make sure I didn't miss anything. All right. So, yeah. So, oh no, wait till what? What? All right. Yeah, so let me know in the comment section what you guys think about Satya's comments, and then hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you're alerted when we go live. Look, everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with me this afternoon. I really appreciate the time. And look, give me a follow on the Twitters, BRAP underscore podcast, so you can get so you're up to speed on when we go live, or sometimes I do these random BRAP rants, so I always post those things on Twitter. So give me a follow there as well. And we will catch you next time. Thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate it.